spot, it's that showtime. I'm just glad I get to stop by and make it hype. Drop some rhymes that the people like, just like that sun that just set in the sky. This is a vibe and this is a show. You all know that is the place. Almost forgot because it's a busy day. I hit the message and I pop right in, and everybody know it started Collections. I said, welcome to Collections with Comokin. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m. From rare antiques to oddities, maybe some Funkos or even some sneaks. I'm not sure what we gonna see today, but I'ma definitely post up and creep. Probably some memorabilia, I have a feeling though. Everybody, if you're ready, then okay, let's go. Hit the ones I wanna see them just explode. It's just time for us to start the show. It's that time again. So grab your popcorn, get comfortable, and watch Collections. It's the intro for me.
Yeah, definitely the best intro on the app.
Let's go.
Mr. Infamous, guys, if you guys haven't had Mr. Infamous favorited, please make sure you do. No lie, there isn't another with more content. Absolutely. The guy, what he's super talented. I'm 100% blessed to have him come in and do the intro. So he is absolutely amazing. So make sure you guys hit the fave on him. So listen, guys, let me just explain a couple things. It's always been crazy, right? And you know, I don't want to brush on anything that's off on personal app, but you know, collecting stuff sometimes takes you to a different place, right? It takes you to a different place. With some of these Funkos, it's, for me, it's a memory of something that I have definitely, like, I've missed. It brings back something like in my childhood. It's definitely one of those things that it's super fun. Whether it be like Batman or Star Wars or E.T. Dude, I was talking to somebody earlier, and they have the MTV, like the Spaceman. It brings me right back to when I was a kid, when they actually showed music videos on MTV, right? Dude, it's definitely like, it's nostalgic. Some of the stuff is obviously new as the new stuff comes out, but it like brings you back, and like it's a complete travel. Yeah, dude, those were the days, right? Those were, and which reminds me, when you say that right there, I really need an Archie, like, those were the days. I would love to have that set, right? But being that today's the 4th, it's definitely one of these days. So this is a newer one. Star Wars has definitely been a huge agenda on collectors' lists across the board. People geek out over all of it, and they actually have their own day, which I know some people, it's their birthday today, and they may be upset, but today's May the 4th be with you, and not your birthday. Sorry, Chris. Not sorry. Right? You know, so it's definitely a geek out day, right? It's so fun. But I think we can get rolling pretty quickly here, because I know that there's going to be a lot of stuff, and I got some other stuff over here that I want to show you guys and some of the differences when it comes to some of the Star Wars stuff. Yes, listen, let me explain the shirt. This is actually a Funko shirt, right? So I know people think like, oh, you're wearing a Care Bear shirt. I do have a Star Wars shirt right here. Jules busting out the bag. Hey. But here's the problem. I can't fit this one. Sometimes when you get these little sets like this, where it has a t-shirt and the pop, you just have to take it because I want the pop. So I can't exactly always just pick a size. Unfortunate, but so I was going to wear it. It's here. I looked at the size and realized it's a medium. I haven't been able to fit into a medium since about 6th grade, right? So like that's just how it goes. So today is Care Bear Day, even though it's May the 4th be with you. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. I'd probably choke myself out trying to get it on. So I know that Sunray's in here. Sunray, can you please request the box? We're going to introduce Sunray. We do have a great show today. I'm going to talk about each person. I just got to meet her. She collects a lot of things. Her brother, amazing Funko collection. So let's bring her to the box. Hey, Right there.
Hi.
Right behind.
How's everyone?
How you doing today?
So this is the collection that he was talking about. Oh, thank you, Pachanga. So today I'm actually, I showed him the Funkos yesterday. At the end of what I'm going to show, I can show you guys the collection as well, some of it. So I'm actually going to be showing you guys my stamp collection and a couple other things too, which are my Marvel comic cards, which are actually making a comeback since quarantine. It's insane how much they are valued now. So hopefully that stays afloat. So all right. So yesterday I was going through some of my stamps, and I actually found a very prized piece in my collection, and it's a 1 cent George Washington stamp. This is valued at $3,500.
Can you imagine
This
just
piece.
finding it? He's like, oh, I just found this. It's $3,500. I just found it.
Yeah, it was insane. I found it yesterday because I actually haven't really gone through my collection in such a long time. And I was like, you know what? During quarantine, I started doing a bunch of different things, getting back into my collection, getting back into the comic cards. I actually ordered something for the Marvel cards yesterday, which I spent like a crazy amount on. But
about the stamps. I know you're going to show us a couple, and obviously that one's crazy, right? That's like $3,500 for a stamp that you just found is great. But what caused you to start collecting?
So I started collecting when I was a kid. I went to a Catholic school, and so my grandfather was the one that was like, hey, why don't you do this stamp club? So they put me in charge of the stamp club. I was like the president of the stamp club, and it was really fun doing it in elementary school, and I really enjoyed it. And everyone would talk their ish and say, oh, you're a nerd. I'm like, I don't care. It's fun, and I enjoy it. So, to each their own. So I pretty much started when I was in 4th grade. One of my science teachers would hold an after-school program where it kept everybody, involved. Like a lot of my classmates did it and a lot of students did it. And it was so cool because we would always have people that were part of the church would actually donate like stamps to us. So we would be able to go and look through the massive amount of stamps that they had. It was insane. And we were searching for certain stamps because depending on the stamp and when it's printed, there could be a misprint or there could be, what about the perforation right here on the side? If they mess that up and they actually send those out and they find out later, hey, you know what? This stamp is valued at this price. It makes the stamp rare because obviously it's a misprint and there's not going to be that many out there. So it makes that stamp rare, so you're looking for certain stamps, to actually try to see if you find it and make some money out of it or keep it and, inherit it and give it to your family down the line, it's definitely an investment. Stamp collecting, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're a stamp collector, but stamps, there is great money in stamps. I was just watching this guy. He bought a a storage unit that somebody just got rid of. He bought it for $1,500. He bought the storage unit and ended up finding these 2-cent George Washington stamps, which are like a reddish orange color. They're worth $11,000 each. He ended up finding a whole bag costing up to $1 million. That was his estimated value of what he earned from buying that storage unit.
That's not my luck. But that's not my luck. I buy a storage unit thinking I'm on Storage Wars. I'm like, yep. No, you know what I get? I get someone's trash. I get a pair of sneakers that don't match. I get some cupboards that are broken. And this guy finds $1 million. So yeah.
Isn't that insane? And he found so many other prized possessions too, within that collection, just plush toys from over the years and stuff like that, which is crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I want to buy a storage and get lucky. You never know what you're gonna find. So
that's the funny thing is too, because I was just talking about some of the mystery boxes and stuff like that for the Funkos, right? Because you have a huge Funko collection. I know it's your brother's, but we were going through it yesterday, dude. There's a lot of stuff in there. Dude, some of those mystery boxes, it makes it fun. It does. Obviously, with the storage units and stuff like that, you can find old stuff, antiques, things that are worth a lot of money. But it does add a little bit of excitement to it, like it's almost like a scratch ticket. You know what I mean? Except for you're finding old stuff.
Yeah.
Like you said that you started in fourth grade, and you obviously you hopped right into the clout factor. Boom, president instantaneously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you were like roped right in, right?
Yeah.
So how has collecting stamps changed as a child and as an adult now? How has it changed? What's the difference been?
I feel like as a kid, I feel like I still had, because the way that my family raised me, they always taught me to appreciate things. And so even when I was a kid, I valued these things, and they told me, the value of these things is a great investment for your future, and, you should definitely stay involved. And I feel like, what they taught me, it carried on with me, and I still carry that value because I've taken care of them. And they've come along a long way with me. And it has so much history, especially because my grandfather was a huge contribution to this, and I lost him 5 years ago. And it's nostalgic for me. It brings back so many memories, especially sharing this with him, and he's the one that actually, bought most of these stamps for me, because obviously I'm a kid, and I did my chores and stuff like that, and I still work for them, but he would always spoil me. I was so spoiled with my grandfather, like, hands down. But I want to show you some of the stuff that we actually invested in. So my grandfather used to work for this oil field, and one of the secretaries that worked there, she wanted to visit England. So she actually visited, and so around the time when Princess Diana passed away, they came out with a tribute to her. And so these are the stamps that they came out with. These are the Princess Diana stamps. They're valued at like $120, which I was surprised because they only made a certain amount, and I thought they would have been worth more. But you know what? For me, a price doesn't matter, because this is something that my grandfather did for me, and he went out of his way to tell his secretary to, like, hey, bring something special back for my granddaughter, and I thought this was really awesome, to see that. And then he just purchased a lot of these. I mean, I feel like over time, these will definitely increase in value. These were bought in the 90s. So we have Audrey Hepburn, we have Bugs Bunny. So what they do is, before they launch the stamp, they actually send these out, which are the first issue stamps. So it comes like this. Before the stamp is actually, put into post offices, they actually do this, which is the first issue, which is pretty cool. I like how they display this. And obviously it came out at the county fair, in Los Angeles County Fair. And let's see, I'll go to the next one. So we have some other, I'm sure you guys recognize these, Tweety Bird and Sylvester, Daffy, just a bunch of different first issues, some with like the Pope, dinosaurs. And I was looking at the value of these. They're not too high in value. I feel like some of them have decreased in value because there were so many that were put out. They're not really that rare, but it's just a fun collection to have. And then
let me ask you this, right? Because obviously you've collected a lot of different things, right? So to you, what is the most valuable? And I'm not talking about cost-wise, right? I'm talking about overall, like, personal value. What's the most valuable one to you, and why?
The most valuable one to me would definitely have to be the stamp right here, the very first one, just because it was actually from a different country and it was meant for me. Because all of these other stamps that I have, obviously these are new stamps, right? Mm-hmm. But this one means the most for me because it just reminds me of my grandfather, and it shows that, like, he would always support me in anything that I ever did, in life. And so this is him showing his support towards me. And it's just so many memories, and I would never sell this piece ever. I would pass it to my family and keep it in my family as long as possible, because it's just, you can't put a price on it, you know. It just has so much value to it just because it's something that my grandfather did for me and surprised me. So it was really nice. Because all the other ones, I felt like, okay, we're going to get this one and we're going to get that one. But I had no idea about this one. And this was like a big surprise for me. So it's nice to have that.
So Miss Liberty brought up a valid question, but I usually don't really address the questions in here, like, during the interviews, but I will in the middle, because that's a very valid question of what you can do, because it's okay. No. I note these things. I just didn't want you to lose it. So with that was the first big stamp that you got?
Yeah, that's actually not the very first big stamp that oh, well, you know what? Yes, that is the very first big stamp that I did receive, until later on when I received all these other individual stamps from my great uncle, who was a stamp collector. So I got to actually go through stamps with him as well.
This is like, it gets deep in your family with collections. So everybody in your family seems to be collecting something.
Yeah, everybody in my family is huge collectors. My brother-in-law is a Funko Pop toy collector. My dad, my brother, my sister, she started collecting all the Disney, and she has a bunch of Kobe memorabilia from like years and years and years. Like, my sister's a huge Kobe fan. Her collection right now is like crazy. Like, man, it's insane. Like, everybody in my family collects something.
I'm definitely going to have to say that probably not only is it one of the more valuable ones that I have, but more personable value is definitely my Kobe Pop. I have both. Well, there's three of them. I have two out of the three. But I do have, it's down here, number 24, wearing the 8 jersey. It's definitely, it's like a $320, $350 pop. But for me, it was like, something very, 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 very different, to have something like that, especially the relationship with Kobe and how tragic we lost him. So that's definitely an understandable thing. But back to you.
So I wanted to show you some of the other pieces that I have, which are like loose. These are fun because actually, the way that you take the stamp off is you soak it in water when it's connected to the envelope, like when it's sealed to the envelope. And so then after, you get these pieces and they look like they're kind of brand new, but they're not, they're all used. But these are all stamps from Portugal. I was kind of going through my collection yesterday, and I didn't have a chance to get to these. So I definitely want to research some of the pricing and value on these stamps. But I did have a chance to go through the ones that I showed you yesterday, and I found a couple, some that have value like $100, $50, some that decreased in value. But I'm definitely going to look into that piece that I told you that's $3,500. So I want to go to somebody that's actually been stamp collecting and knows a lot more than I do, because I mean, you're always learning, and it's been such a long time since I've actually gone through this collection. I've gone through it since quarantine, so it's been a while. It's been sitting there.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that they fixed it. Just to give you an FYI, I think that they must have fixed it by now, right? So there was a little glitch in their system, but the numbers just jumped back up. So I think that we're okay. So keep going.
Okay. No, you're good. Okay, so I showed you majority of my stamp collection. I do want to show you what I've discovered in the comic world, in the the Marvel comic cards. And this is insane. And the market has risen since quarantine. And I've been watching collectors on YouTube, card collectors, talking about Marvel comic cards, especially the 90s and the 96s, which is terrible because I don't have those in my hands. We have a lot of collections here, okay? So they're in boxes. I only have certain amount of cards out because that's what I have right now. I had to actually throw away a lot because they got damaged, which was so upsetting. But This is the comic cards because I don't have, hold on, what's it called? I don't have the packaging because I took them all out. I had some ruined. So these actually came out in 94. 94, the artistry, there's a lot of different artists on the 94 collection. So
Cool.
that's the only thing. I mean, I like it, but it's not consistency in the collection. 96, it's the same artist. These are all 94. These are the flares. Some of these are worth value, depending. Mainly, like, I would say Iron Man, Spider-Man are a big hit. In the 90s collection, these are all 94. In the 90s collection, there's a Stan Lee worth $1,500. And that's
Stan
a
Lee is
PSA 10, meaning it's in mint condition. Yeah, it's a
Stan
Stan Lee.
Lee really valuable across the board. We have some Stan Lees here that are it's extravagant. Yeah, dude, we lost a legend when he passed.
Yeah, definitely. So the value in that has definitely gone up. So these are all 94s. You can see that how, like, I'm not really a fan of the artwork on this. You can see, like, there's different artists. Like, you could tell this is the same artist. This is the same artist. The artist on this one is, it doesn't even say right now. I can't remember off the top of my head. Some of them say and some of them don't say it. I do want to show you a couple pieces that I found that are worth like a couple $100.
Nice. I will say this, that I definitely, I think that you may be someone that we have to bring back. You have such a big collection in different sorts.
I'm gonna have to when I do have it a little bit more organized because of the fact that, like, I ordered the packaging and they ended up not sending it out yet, and it was supposed to come yesterday. But I definitely would love to show you a massive collection of this, and especially when it's organized, it would be a lot better so that you guys could see. Oh, thank you.
Why don't we take a small rain check, being that time-wise, and I think they're still fixing the app, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but we could take a small rain check, and you're more than welcome to come back. You have an amazing collection of stamps, of cards, of Funkos, and I would really love to even have your brother on if we could talk to him.
Yeah, he will be back. He just graduated from college, and he's still out there for school because of baseball. But he will be back, and when he's back, I will definitely talk to him so you can have a conversation with him about Funkos.
I'm definitely always interested. It's one of those things where part of the big deal with the show is I always love to hear, why people collect and how they start. It's always interesting and what it means to them. But at the same time, collectors are. It's definitely really, really different to be able to talk to people because listen, there's so much knowledge out there about some of these things, and I'm really looking forward to. You'll have to catch one of the shows when I'm trying to have Coin Man on.
Definitely. I have some coins over there in the mint collection. We got these are Marvel coins. And this one right here, I found out the pricing on this. It is, if I have it graded, if it's graded to a PSA 10, this would be like at least a 250 piece. So it just really depends on the grading as well.
So guys, remember when you were a kid and you were putting baseball cards in your tires or like making the click sound? Yeah, guess what? You're throwing away money. But I definitely thank you. I try to keep it to like about 25 minutes.
No worries. I get it.
You have so much stuff that like definitely we're going to have you come back. And I know that our next guest is going to have a lot of stuff too, so he's going to have to come back more than once himself. It happens that way. It's a great thing about having a show every Tuesday. It's every Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Thank you for having me.
You get to come in.
And I can't wait to show you the rest of the collection.
Yeah, there's so you're the first person that I've had on here that has stamps. And it's something that like I don't know so much about. Thank you, Katie. But I need to know more about it because a lot of times I find these things. I definitely find stamps. I find stamps. I find bottles. I find a lot of old collectibles like that I don't know a lot about. Stamps is one of them. Like we had a conversation before where I had to bring something to somebody to have checked out. Right. I work on a lot of old homes. So when you go into those old homes and you start taking that stuff out, you do find a lot of stuff, whether it be bottles or stamps or different things. Even newspapers have a value if it's an important, you know what I mean? And people used to keep those. You find those in attics and stuff like that. So it's really cool that, you know what I mean, that you actually collect something I really don't know a lot about. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you showing it.
Yeah, definitely. If you have any questions, a lot of the people that support me in my stream are actually mailing me stamps from different places in the world. So I'm super excited about that.
That's me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
so definitely have to catch back up. We'll
all right.
see some, and then we'll go through the other ones. I appreciate you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You guys have a good one. Thank you for having me.
No problem. We're definitely going to do that again. We're definitely bringing her back. You see all the stuff that she has? Woo! I want to go through slow motion, honestly, not through this. Like, don't get me wrong. Stamps are cool, right? Stamps are great. But, that plane hit different. It did. No. So, but I see all the stuff in the background, and she has an amazing story of how they started. They have a certain version of like a Funko, like a OG version that I definitely would like to just look at and soak in. I'm weird like that. Don't get me wrong. Thank you guys so much. I know that this has been a little bit weird, right? Because we did have a couple issues with the app. So I'm glad that you guys are here. But back to what I was saying is that being on certain holidays, I always try to talk a little bit about what's going on, on other platforms, not so much streaming platforms, but like different places when it comes to collectibles. So guys, dude, obviously these are Funkos. You can find Funkos at funko.com. Like, I mean, there's stupid amounts, right? It's insane what you can actually find. I'm guessing, rough guess, I need to get the actual number, but I think there's probably like 20,000 Funkos and just as many pairs of shoes. But there's, dude, it is a Care Bear shirt, yeah. So it is what it is, dude. I had a Care Bear. It's a Funko shirt. I'm too big to fit into the Star Wars one. I can't help it, but I'm super excited about the stamps. That's neat, dude. It's totally. I've had my hands on some cool ones. Never knew what they were worth. You just stick it on there. You just put them upside down for love. That was my stamp collection idea. But I know that we got someone that you guys probably definitely know coming up next. He might be one of the fastest moving gifters. He might be one of the most down-to-earth dudes on the app. He might definitely hurt you if you're going against him. Yo, ready to rob. You want to hit that box? No, Parker, no, we're not getting any noise. You're not getting any noise. No sombreros, bro. No sombreros. We're not doing the sombrero thing here.
Huh?
Yeah. So first and foremost, yeah, he's trying to get us going with a sombrero.
Oh, look at it.
Yeah. So how you doing, man? How's your day?
I'm good, blessed. How you?
So aside from now, I have no idea what he's bringing to the table. It could be anything. I see something in the background though, but listen, aside from the amount of bodies that you have completely destroyed on this app on your way to what level right now? You don't even know. You don't even know.
144, I think. Yeah, 144.
Yo, so on the way to 144. Aside from the amount of people that you've bodied, what else are you collecting today?
You know, I don't have collectibles. I do collect wine. I wouldn't consider myself a wine connoisseur, but wine. I have some friends that kind of go wine tasting and things, and they bring me different wine all the time. I'm not much of a port type of guy. I'm not much of a dessert wine type of guy, but I like red wines. So and then I have Chardonnay and what have you, especially when I have my seafood and stuff like that. So one of my favorite.
This is not what I expected. I mean,
know.
don't get me wrong. I think one of our video chats, you were getting a mani-pedi, so like, you know, it just makes sense that you got yourself a little glass of wine to go with it. You know what I mean? It does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why wine? What was it about wine that you really?
You see, Lonely Stoner, he used to come in my streams back when I first went into when I first streamed, and I used to drink wine all the time. I would sit in the bathtub, drink wine, or sit right here and drink wine, and it's so relaxing to me. It's really relaxing. I'm not much of a hard liquor type of guy, but I will have a good celebratory shot of 1942 tequila. That's one of my favorites. Other than that, one of my favorite wineries is Frank's Family Winery out in Calistoga. They have really good wines, and I really like their wines. And there's other places that are better, but I really like Frank Family.
Yeah.
What you gonna say?
What is it like? So I know it's relaxing and stuff like that, but that's just enough to drink. But what caused you to start collecting it?
Just wanted to have different tastes. There's some, I'm telling you, I had some before that was so bold. I'm like, ooh, that was nasty. But then I tried something different with some of those wines. What I would do, because most wines are usually a wine that's kind of that's room temperature. Me myself, I've tried to put them in the fridge just to kind of chill them a little bit. Hey, that's trying to have them chill a little bit. And when I take them back out, kind of let them aerate, then it brings the fruit, the boldness of it kind of comes out, and then I've known to get those real bitter ones. Start like, yeah, I like that. I start to appreciate it more. I have one right here that been working on. It's called Menage a Trois, and it's
I've seen
you had that before. Yeah, it's not that expensive either, but I have it right here. I'm working on it.
It's a simple bottle. It's not that expensive.
Simple bottle, not that expensive, and it tastes good to me. Actually, it's funny. I have my glasses right here. And the Menage a Trois is kind of like right here in this thing. So so I kind of pour it in there, I drink it, and I just enjoy, I kick back. But Frank's Family Home, this is from Frank Family Vineyards, and this is the Chardonnay, and it's really good too. It's a really good one. Of course, it gets chilled. Everybody knows Chardonnays get chilled, and I used to drink the Chardonnay with my seafood and stuff like that. I don't drink. I mean, I don't eat red meat, so I don't really pair. I can't really pair my red wine with any red meat because I don't drink red meat. I mean, I don't eat red meat. So that's usually what I do every now and then. I do have my little chocolate covered strawberries. And I've tried it with the cheese thing, but it wasn't good for me.
We're learning so much about Rob. Look at so. Listen, we're learning so much about Rob. This is different. Listen, you see him as a straight assassin on the app, and he's over here. Listen, he's murdering people on this app, like just doing them dirty while he's having his wine and chocolate-covered strawberries. How do you guys feel about that? How do how does that work? He's like, oh yeah, we're chilling, and I'm pretty sure that this is something that I never would have guessed. I never would have guessed. It's not like so surprising that you collect wine and nice things. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all like to have some nice stuff, right?
Yes,
but what's the most important bottle, or it could be your most expensive bottle that you have in your collection?
Frank Family has one of the most expensive ones. It's a Merlot. I don't have it now. I've killed it already, but it's a Merlot, and it's like $270. It's probably a little bit cheaper now. Maybe it's probably even more now since COVID. But it was a pretty decent. That was about almost $300. I had one, and it was a rare. I don't know if it was a reserve, but it was one I had just came out with, and it was the palette. It was lovely. I enjoyed that. It's one of the best bottles. Of wine that I've ever had. Nice. Seriously, yeah.
So you said that you're definitely a red wine fan, right?
Yes.
And for some of the people that don't know, when you're collecting and stuff like that, is there something that you look forward to when you collect a wine that outside of the color? Because listen, I'm not so primitive. Like I'm definitely like a dude's dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna drink some gin. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what that's how I do. You know, we turn up with tequila. You know, but like when it comes to, is there certain things that you're looking for in the collector aspect of it aside from the taste? Is there something that you're like?
You know, I will say this. The collector aspect of it, I like a lot of wines that comes like from overseas. I don't have much because when they come, I like to kill those. And all the ones I have about 10, 11 bottles sitting around me right now. I'll probably show you a little bit real quick. But I like pretty bottles. I have no pretty bottles now because I kind of kill the pretty bottles. So, I kill them. Only one of the prettier ones is probably like this one right here, and this is a dessert wine. Yeah, and this one was given to me. This was re-gifted to me. It's from Napa Valley as well. It's 2013, but it's a dessert wine, and it's I've tried one before.
If you want to just take a second, right? If you want to just take a second, and you guys that are red, remove whoever you feel necessary, guys. Just don't hesitate with that. But if where was I going with that?
It's wax top.
Can you break down like the differences between some of the wines? Like in that way you can. So I know that there's hundreds of different kinds. But if we keep it simple, like what you're expecting with a red versus a white versus a blush versus like a Merlot, like you know what I mean? Because there's different levels. So if you just take that in, and so people can understand.
Well, like I say, I'm not a wine connoisseur. I do love me a good glass of red wine. But as far as like my white wines or my sparkling stuff like that, of course, you drink them out of different glasses, what have you. One thing that bothers me when I see someone drink red wine or a sparkling wine out of something like this is a red wine glass, and they kill me when they grab the glass with their hands. You're supposed to always drink like Chardonnay and stuff like that out of a different glass, of course, and you hold the stem so your body temperature doesn't warm up the wine. So, but I love red wine, but the white, of course, is going to be chilled. Red, I do chill the red only because it depends on the red, so it can bring the flavor out. And most time, like this one right here is aerated right now, so I took the cork out of it, and it's just hanging out. So I have this other unit I have not used yet. Someone gifted to me, and it has a CO2 cartridge to it. So it's actually, it appears the cork, it pierces the cork, and it puts CO2 in there, and it pour it out for me. I haven't used it yet. I can't wait. But it keeps the flavor, it keeps it bold in there. What you left? What they talking about?
Yeah,
craving red meat. Craving, Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've never, I've not been a huge wine fan, right? But like, there's a couple, and you know something I've noticed that like sometimes when you spend, and I thought like, listen, like everything else, if you spend crazy money on it, it must be good. Listen, I spent like $600 on a bottle of wine and it tastes like bark. Like, and I spent like $20 on a bottle of wine. Listen, and I'll throw it out there. It was a bottle of Clean Slate Riesling. So good. It was simple. You know what I mean? It was simple for like $20. And I sat there and I felt like such a fool after that, spending crazy money on a bottle. And listen, it did. I had no other, like, dude, don't get me wrong. I don't have a distinguished palate. It's not like, neither do I. Yeah, this grape is from, like, I don't know that stuff. But I know what
the chocolate in that,
I know what bark tastes like. That whole bottle tasted like bark. It was gross.
But most of the wines that I like the most, that's really pleasing to my palate, are on the inexpensive side. They really are. Like if I'm usually.
I agree. I definitely
for my
agree.
palate.
And that, it suits me. And like I don't know. I'm also not so fancy. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like a pickup truck. You know what I mean? But like, I like what things taste like. Dessert wines are usually way too sweet for me. It's too overpowering. Red wines are nice because I do eat steak, and they do pairs well with steak. But when it comes right down to it, like, it's definitely you're right. I have to agree. It is something soothing about having a glass of wine, and like a lot of us just don't. I don't get it. I learned it from my aunt who drinks a lot of wine. By a lot, she drinks a lot. Like, she could tell you everything. But
like I said, I'm not a wine connoisseur, but I'll tell you, give me a good glass of Merlot, and I'm gonna knock it back.
Yeah. So what with wine, right? So with wine, what's your favorite thing to do? Is it just by yourself? Is it with good company? Is there a difference? Is there a difference with your wine that you know what I mean? Because I know that it takes all kinds.
Well, usually I'm by myself a lot anyway, so I love to have a good glass of red wine by myself. I'll tell you this, Lonely Stone, I don't know if he's still in here, and there's some other folk, maybe Des, they seen me before. I'm 2 glasses and I'm pretty much done. I can have 2 shots and I'm pretty much done. See, like Lonely Stone say, after the 2, I'm about to fall out on my stream, and I'm a lightweight. I'm such a lightweight. But by myself is good. But if I'm with people, I have to be careful, because if we're out and I'm out and we have dinner, I will nod off at the table like I've just taken some other type of drug. But I enjoy a good glass of wine. I tell you, I can't wait. It's too early right now. I will not drink before 5 my time, and I have about 1 hour and 15 minutes before I drink.
There's rules. There's rules. I'm gonna keep it real with you though. Right now, it's 6:45 here. We can pop a bottle.
Okay.
Yes. That's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. Yes. And there we go. There's a bottle for you right there.
There you go. There you go.
So do you like? Do you feel like I mean, I'm not really sure like your your whole situation and stuff like that. Like, but do you feel like it's going to be something that's going to grow, like to actual collecting and getting into more ranges as a collector?
Well, my a good friend of mine, she used to be my program director. She works over in the South Bay. She has a hell of a palate for wine, any and all wines. And she and I we're going to go up. And I've never been wine tasting, but I have taken people wine tasting because I also own a limousine company. And I've never been wine tasting. I've just taken people up there, and I just enjoyed them enjoying themselves. And she and I were supposed to go up there earlier in the year. I mean, summer, this past summer. Of course, COVID happened, and we were going to try to. She was trying to get me to expand, I guess, my palate or whatever the case may be. And we were talking about some things that I've tried stuff with her before. So we're supposed to go. I guess we're going to go now since everything opened it up. So Niagara wine tasting.
Niagara, I'm not really sure what that means. It's probably Mad Dog 2020. This place is a hood. It's crazy. Right, but,
Napa Valley, most definitely.
Yeah,
I'm an hour away from there.
A couple places that I've been. So the North Fork of Long Island is extravagant, right? So everyone hears about like the Hamptons and stuff like that, big homes. That's the South Fork. Don't get me wrong; it's absolutely beautiful, right? The North Fork seems more renowned for wine. It's wineries, vineyards everywhere. It's so nice there. But I've done a couple wine samplings there, and then you pretty much go from place to place to place. And let me keep it real with you. Like that 2 glasses of wine thing, like I'm not so much a lightweight, but we had 7 places scheduled, and after 2, I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. I had no clue. Wine hits different. It's not the same.
It does. It does. Yeah.
It does. So I definitely appreciate the fact that you did wine today, because I know that you collect other things, and we're not going to talk about that.
I do. I got a couple other things.
Now that you're here, we're going to keep you coming back.
Okay, it's all good.
Yeah, but the thing is that I have seen some of the most incredible wine collectors. I build high-end homes, right? So we legitimately built a 18,000 square foot home, which is pretty decent size, with a 40,000 bottle wine cellar. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I have never seen anything like that in my life. It was a great project to work on. Yeah, it's incredible. So the best part about that whole thing was, don't get me wrong, I was not so much young, but I didn't really care about wine at that point in time. I was like, when I drink, we go on whiskey. I ain't worried about wine. You know what I mean? So talking, I wish that I had listened more, right? Because there's such a refined atmosphere when it comes to the wine. You know what I mean? It's definitely some people will be like, whatever. Maybe it's bougie. You can put the word on there, but there is, there is that atmosphere, So to be 100% fair, he probably put so much knowledge on me about wines and what to look for. This guy was bringing in, listen, no lie, these things came in like crates that were padded inside of other crates. It was like, dude, the boxing and stuff like that for these wines as they were stacking them up. It was like $80,000 to have his wine shipped from his house to this place.
Wow.
Including what the wines cost. So I don't know what he had for wines or what they were worth, but to spend 80 grand to move your wine collection
from one place to another.
Yeah, from one place to
serious
another.
wine.
Yeah, it's serious. So is an 18,000 square foot timber home too. You know what I mean? That's pretty eccentric too. Like that's another level.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Was it a flat? Was it a flat or was it 2-story?
Oh no, this is it's 2-story cathedral. This place is amazing. From the center, I can send you pictures. Actually, I'll pull them off my thing. And I can send you pictures of when I was working on it.
Okay.
It's 38 feet from where you walk in the grand entry to the top of the entry. All glass going up, open. It's beautiful. All umbrella framed timbers. This place is it's serious. Right on a he like owned like 55 acres, all resting on a pond. So it's a huge pond right near Lake Sunapee. I'm sure there's somebody in here that knows what that is in New Hampshire. But he owns the whole corner of a big pond. And, it's connected to the lake somehow. But it was probably like a 9 million.
I have family in New Hampshire.
What's your family?
Are you talking New Hampshire? Are you talking East Coast?
Yeah, East Coast.
Okay, we have a New Hampshire out here in the West Coast too.
Oh, it's not the same thing. One's a state, one's a town.
Town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Town.
So this is over where like guys like Steven Tyler. I wish I had his pop right here to show you. Steven Tyler. He lives on Lake Sunapee, stuff like that. But dude, yeah, there's a heavy on the. I know that wine. You always hear about wine on the West Coast because of California, this and that. But there's huge market, dude, all on the East Coast along the water for vineyards. And
wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was one of those things in my older years that when I actually decided to slow down a little bit and appreciate some stuff, that's where I went. I went to there and I checked some stuff out and I was actually impressed. You don't come out. How often do you come out east?
I haven't been in a while. It's been over a year.
All right, so I think one of the coolest things that we have out here, it's in Massachusetts. One of the coolest things that we have for somebody that's interested in, is the sound off?
For the gifts?
Yeah, the sound's off on the gifts. Oh, I thought you meant on me. I was like, what? So, Martha's Vineyard, there's other places, but we have this thing called the Big E, and it's in September and October. They have state buildings here, right? So it has like all like the New England states, but they have a wine sampling there that's top notch. Like, so you can go from
it's near you?
Yeah, it's near you. Well, it's like 6 hours from me, but like, yeah, it's close. It's huge. It's a big expo. But they definitely have different stuff in there. But that was when I first, like one of the first places I went to and realized that there was such a wine market in New England and in this area.
Okay. Well, hey, I can come out there when the weather change.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this too. I feel like I could probably come out that way too. We want to catch a game. I know we play twice. We'll make it happen.
Hey, we can make it happen. Hey, I went to the stadium last week for the draft. Nice. Parker's crazy.
So
nice.
I know. I thought you were gonna have a different collection. I did have a little couple.
I know you did. I got it too. I got it too.
So I was also looking at some numbers. Something. Listen, I'm not so happy about our record against you. I'm not really so happy with that.
So what you thinking?
I don't know, man. I'm not really sure. I definitely feel like at some point in time we're gonna have to talk off app about we're gonna have to fix some things here this year. We're gonna see what happens.
You want to make a bet?
Oh, we can't talk about gambling on here like that, but we'll talk.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna talk.
Okay.
So, but I definitely listen. I 100% appreciate the fact that you come in, and you definitely, you know what I mean. You kept me on my toes because, like, another person like, listen, I don't know a lot about wine. You know what I'm saying? I do know that, like, you know, there's a lot of value in a lot of different wines. Me and wifey have been to a bunch of restaurants, and they have some elaborate, super elaborate wine / cellars and stuff like that. Like there's one we were at Mohegan's, and they have the wine thing is like a huge glass pillar that goes all the way up. It's absolutely beautiful. Steaks suck there though for $80 a crack, but I'm just saying, yeah, the wine selection there was incredible. So yeah, no, it's definitely really, really nice. Unfortunately, now in my given situation, I can't mess with too many wines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, being diabetic, that's things like just drinking. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But we'll have to go back to tequila.
Oh. Bless you.
But I definitely listen. It's been long awaited. We got you in here now, and I appreciate you. So,
Yes.
And
but I'm gonna bring my other stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, too. Like I said, I have about 15, 20 bottles sitting around.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what else.
Yes.
So guys, look, not that I want you out of the box just yet, right? That's not like that. But I definitely want everybody that's in here to make sure you guys favorite Rob. I learned a lot about him tonight, dude, and over the past since we actually started talking, because this has been going on for a little, like, you know what I mean, this isn't just the show thing. We've been chatting and stuff like that. So honestly, dude, super nice guy. Well invested not only into your community, right, but also the community here. So take some time, and this is one of those great things that's on the show. You get to learn something about somebody that you didn't really know. Mr. 144 doesn't just crack heads; he also gets his mani-pedi. That's a lot.
Oh yeah, I did talk to you one time. I was getting my manicure pedicure.
No, you shot $500K while you were getting a pedi.
Oh yeah, right. I did. That's right. Hey, tripping. Oh my God. Yeah. Crazy.
But man, this is obviously what I want to have. Like, I want to have more up on the show. You know what I'm saying, about some of the not softer sides, but just a better understanding of who people are, and that we're not just a name on a board, and we're not just, there's more to the story. You know what I'm saying? There's always more to the story.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of bummed that that there was an app glitch too, because it seems like we're not where we should be for show numbers, but I know
when I first got on, I seen the trending. The feature shows up, and Des was right next to you. Then I was on my other phone, and it kind of went away. I don't know what was going on.
Dude, I guess everybody went away. I guess that's what happened. Is everybody went away, so it was weird. But I'm appreciative to have you on.
Yes, sir.
I'll definitely chat with you soon. We'll figure out the next time. I'll have to I'm just gonna keep posting pictures on my IG of Ready to Rob, and then like when he actually is ready to get on, dude, I'll we'll get it right. He's a busy man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He's a man. Oh, and listen, let's not forget this. Let's not forget this one little thing. Can we congratulate Rob on being the newest top badge on the app? Can we do that?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Can we do that?
Thank you.
Let's just not forget, man. Friday, he got his listen, man. Congratulations on the top badge.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Man,
I appreciate you guys.
That's not a small task. It's not a small task. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's not.
So I appreciate you, and I'm definitely I look forward to our next meetings.
Yeah, and I've been banned twice since I've been the top badge.
It happens. It definitely happens. I don't understand why. But listen, man, can you guys definitely hit him with a favorite? Come back through, come out when he's on. And you guys, you see his squad. They strong. Yes. All right. Good. I appreciate you, bro.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Dude, absolutely, man. Mikasa.
All right, baby. All right. Michelle.
Now, listen, we got 3 minutes left of this thing. 2.5 minutes, right? According to that lovely little clock underneath the 27. So listen, I just want you guys to know, right? There's always more to somebody who collects, whether it be childhood memories. Sometimes it's a good distraction to be able to just delve in of what you got going on in your day to day. Man, thank you, McLovin. You know, like Arius, just take a second. There's something that you collect. And definitely, man, make sure that you guys, if you're in here, hit the faves. If you do collect things, as always, make sure that you hit me up on the IG, which is in the profile, right? And just come through. Let's talk about it. Let's see what you got, and maybe we can get you on. You know, I hope that you guys learn that collecting is just more than hoarding, even though I feel like a hoarder a lot of times. Thanks, you guys. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Remember, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Collections with Comokin. See who we got coming up next. So, I'm not going to promise anything, but keep track of my IG. I might be doing something a little bit different. So, I might be adding a small feature to the show. We'll let you guys know. Until then, oh, man. Oh, Rob! Yo, I can't hang up just yet. We're going to let this play out. Thank you, Raider Rob. I appreciate you, man. I told you guys, he collects bodies like nobody's business. More ways than one. That's for another episode. Yo, man, I appreciate you so much. That's crazy. Guys, like I said, every Tuesday, 6 p.m., you never know what you're going to run into. Keep collecting. Come on back. Love you guys.